you know what? It makes it more of an enjoyable process. Something I always try and remind myself is like, it's great to have goals. It's great to be working towards things, but don't forget to enjoy the present. It's
Yeah.
not until I stop and think that where I'm actually like, look at where I am and the life that I live. Like, I always think, oh, but I still don't feel like I've proved it to myself yet based on how much I'm earning. But really, it's going to sound a bit like wishy-washy, but I think wealth comes from up here. Your
Yeah.
mindset and the way that you perceive everything. If you perceive yourself to be wealthy, then you are, because the only way you can not feel wealthy is if you're comparing yourself to someone that's wealthier.
Yeah.
And even then, is it just a monetary value? Because what people always do, and I do it myself, is compare themselves to people that are further along.
Yeah.
They never compare themselves to people that they've flown past.
Yeah.
You know? So
I
when
agree.
you actually stop, zoom out a little bit and look at where you are on your journey, it's like, I'm happy here. I need to enjoy the present and not always be so focused on the future, because
I agree.
one day I'm going to be old, sitting there looking back on the past,
Yeah.
realizing how happy I was, but I didn't realize it. Not to say I'm not happy, but I often just have to try and remind myself, like, it's great to have goals. It's great to work. Maybe I'm guilty of being a bit too serious sometimes. Martina will say that, but it's also important just to enjoy the present, you know, and I think that's what you guys do very, very well, is just enjoy the journey.
I agree. I think these are prime years and we are growing a company and it is making really good money. So I always say to Yaz, like, it always is good to do things that you enjoy as well, because things flash. Even I think back 3 years ago, gone so fast, like when we first started this business, I remember it exactly. Like, I remember the conversation we were having, I remember all of it. And I think 3 years goes like that. I just couldn't imagine being 40 and thinking, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that. I always say to people, if anything did happen and I was to die tomorrow, I would be content with the life that I lived and the years that I have. Like, I very much live life to the max, 100%.
That's so powerful. I think I'd like to think on that as to whether I would say the same. I believe that I would, but I think I think I'm guilty of maybe working too much sometimes. Like, that's why it's been so nice this week that you guys have all come out and like we meet you for lunch and do things at work, because I'm very guilty of just falling into routine.
Yeah.
I like work and I like going to the gym Monday to Friday. I'm happy with that, and then on the weekends I'll enjoy myself. And even then, I don't mean drinking alcohol or doing anything excessive. It's just going for a nice meal or just enjoying Dubai. But you know, I still find myself of an evening maybe sometimes sitting down and watching the TV or whatever, and I think the reason I wanted to live in this place was to be able to take advantage of the beaches that are on my doorstep and the lovely weather. And it's very easy to just kind of fall into a routine.
Yeah.
But that's why it's been nice to have you guys here to kind of shake it up a little bit and make me realise you don't have to just sit at your desk working all day.
No,
as much as
I saw some guy when I was down at one of the shisha lounges that was sitting there, and he had his laptop, he had the whole setup, everything going on, smoking a cigar, doing like some team viewers call there with the whole skyline in the background. You definitely don't need to be in a room, you can be anywhere around there.
For sure. No, I have done that at times, or on the weekend I'll maybe go to a shisha lounge and do a bit of work, and it's where I'll just have a few hours to myself and like a bit of a brain dump on all of the things that I'm mapping out and working towards. But again, I guess it's a bit sad to say, but I get joy out of fulfillment, out of completing things, out of working on things, out of doing things. So in a way, like, I am enjoying the way that I live my life. But I think what I need to do is maybe just take advantage of the environment that I'm in more. Not to say I don't get out, like I meet a ton of people, but it's just I don't always need to work from the apartment. It's just easier. I have my setup there, got everything set up. It's easy to wake up, have a coffee, have a shower, put the computer on and start working.
I think it's easy to get lost in it when it is on your doorstep. Sometimes you forget how great it is outside, you know? Like when I came from England, and everything to me, this is insane. So I want to be out in it every single day. As soon as I wake up, I need to get out in the sun, because I know when I go back, it's raining, there's no tanning going on there. I want to make the most of it here, but I think when you live here and you do have access to it, sometimes it's just like any other place, you know, but you got to think this isn't like any other place. There's nowhere like this.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's if I really stop and look at it, it's been amazing. The almost 6 months that I've spent here, the podcast, all the people I've met, which has literally been life changing. The business, everything that we're working on, it's great. Like if I really, like I say, just zoom out and focus on the present rather than the future, there's nothing I would change.
Yeah. That's
so maybe
good.
that does answer your question. Maybe I would be happy if I died tomorrow. Wouldn't be happy, but I'd be
content with the life that you've lived.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a big thing. I think people do ask me, like, they say to me, "Wow, you've done so great. Like, it's amazing what you've already achieved." But me and Yaz, I think I always think to myself, I'm poor. He always thinks it as well. Like I never think that I've made all this money or this business is doing so well. I always think like where I want it to be. I always think to myself, I know this can be better. I know where this can be in 3 years. I've seen other brands where we was 3-5 years ago. I see where they are now, and I think we can get to that level. I never stop, really. Maybe something that I should do more and think, wow, we have achieved so much in these 3 years. It's because in my head I know where we can be, and I always think it can be so much bigger, it can be so much better.
100%. I think that's just being an entrepreneur.
You
get that from me, or our parents. But yeah, I think that is all it is, isn't it? How can I be a little bit better every single day, whether it be my business or my health or the product? It's just knowing what you want to do, and once you know what you want to do and you know how to get there, it just becomes easy to keep improving and making these things better. I think it's just the standard that you hold for yourself, isn't it?
I agree.
The business is a representation of you, and it's almost like your reputation. So you know that it can always be a little bit better. Maybe if it's not product, it's this or that. Or
I think no one could be more critical than yourself on your own business, for sure.
100%, 100%. And if you've got two like-minded people like you and Yaz, that will call each other out on certain things and bring each other up, that's also important. You need to be in a competitive environment to
I think it helps perhaps maybe that we wasn't friends before the business started. You know, perhaps if he was my long-term friend, maybe it would be a bit harder for us to pull each other up and things like that. But where our friendship has only been from us doing the brand together, so like we can pull each other up on it, you know, and we know it's no hard feelings, because at the end of the day, I want it to work, he wants it to work. This is our full-time job now, you know, so it has to work. We need it to work. It is our living.